Did you know that immigrant students in the US often lose access to the sports that shape their identity growing up? This is why we need to talk about why it matters. Sports are central to an immigrant's, especially a child immigrant's identity. And often they don't exist in US schools. Um, One of my sources for my research paper, written by the author with the last name Baker, point out that schools mostly stick to traditional American sports, even when the student population is changing. This can mean that if half the student population um, has big soccer roots, right? Big into soccer, American football will still kind of lead the way in what gets the most attention and what gets the most draw in from the overall community around the school. Even though students, for example, may have grown up playing soccer and um, if they're immigrants coming from maybe Europe, soccer dominates in Europe. So coming from Europe, soccer dominates the schools there. But then coming to a place like America where football is, it's a big culture shock for these students. And a lot of them haven't played American football until coming to the US. So it is a big identity shift for these kids. And let's be real, sports in the US are very expensive. New immigrant families often face economic strain and limits to access equipment and travel. There's so much travel with American sports as well. So, going on further with some macro level challenges, you got cultural mismatch here. There are language barriers and socioeconomic disparities, meaning that many immigrant kids start off disadvantaged from the start. Some meso level challenges could be that there is a need for peer belonging, and it's a huge motivator in youth sport. According to BMC Psychology, they studied and did a psychological sports study on immigrants, and they found that without social alignment, immigrant youth struggle to feel accepted. There's also a missing community resource here. Kennedy another source is Kennedy. He also notes that the lack of accessible community sports hurt immigrant youth, not just socially, but in the long term in physical and mental health. So that's both. You're losing out on being active if you don't feel like you're connected to a community, and then it's obviously messing with mental health too, which can get really, really challenging. And finally, after looking at the macro and meso, we need to look at micro level challenges here. And one challenge that sticks out to me that I read about is that many can feel less confident because they're new to American sports, and they don't know the rules. And again, going back to language barriers, this can kill motivation. So confidence, and it just is so helpful for kids to be confident in playing the sport they love, and it builds identity. But when that's not there and they have that feeling that they don't belong there, it can really, really hurt these kids, not just with being physical health, but their education, and then back to the mental health problem as well. So with all that being said here, there needs to be a call for action. We need to be more culturally responsive to sport programs, meaning having a stronger community helping these kids out if they are struggling to find their identity, and have better academic outcomes as well, which I will get more into in my Impact TikTok. Thank you.